Welcome to Family Business World. I'm your host, Dr. Dale Caldwell, and I have a wonderful guest, Larry Prince. Larry, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Welcome. It's a pleasure being here, and thank you, Dale, for inviting me.
Of course. Well, CEO Prince Leadership, you do work with family businesses, you have that family connection, and we really want to get to know you. And so I always like to start, where did you grow up? Where were you born? Where did you go to school? And how did you get to doing what you're doing now?
Well, I grew up in Bergen County, New Jersey, Hackensack, Paramus.
Okay.
And now we've raised our family. My wife and I have been married over 30 years, and we've raised our family in West Orange, New Jersey.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Northern New Jersey guy.
Excellent, excellent. So what did you do? Where did you go to school, and where did you go to college, and what did you do right after college?
Well, Dale, great question. And my wife and I met in college at Fairleigh Dickinson University.
Fairleigh Dickinson University, all right, okay. And my audience knows I'm at the Rothman Institute at Fairleigh Dickinson University. I love it there.
Yeah, we met there and started dating our senior year. That's 1983, so it's some time ago. But and I have a master's from Fairleigh as well.
Okay.
So Fairleigh is in our blood.
But Larry, let me ask you this question, and I'm amazed at the number of couples that came out of FDU. There's so many people who met there and have stayed married for 30 plus years. What is it about FDU that because I went to Princeton and there, I don't know too many. I think one member of our class got married, but that's about it. So what is it about FDU?
We have many. In fact, many of our close friends all met at Fairleigh, husbands and wives, and we've stayed together all these years.
That's amazing.
As not just couples, but as friends.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's the water of the Hackensack. We didn't drink it, but we called Fairleigh Harvard on the Hackensack.
There you go.
Not Princeton on the Hackensack, but Harvard.
I love it.
Who knows? I really don't have a good answer, but it's a good question.
So all right. So you majored in what? What did you major in?
I majored in chemistry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right.
And then what happened after that? So you started as a chemist, or what do you do?
You know what? I continued in education. Okay. I was then from the old dental school at Fairleigh.
Okay.
A degree in human physiology, a graduate degree.
Yeah.
Then I went to Columbia University for the PhD program in applied exercise physiology.
Oh, wow. Oh, interesting.
And I got 2/3 through that, and I said, listen, I got 2 master's degrees. I want to get in business and open my business. And that's what I did. So I left the program and opened a weight loss business with my father.
Oh, wow.
In Paramus, New Jersey.
Okay. And then what happened there? Let me hear about that.
Well, actually, to tell that story, let me back up a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually grew up in family-owned businesses.
Okay.
My father and his brother owned a cosmetic manufacturing business where they would take powders and formulate the right colors and the consistency and use these giant Kimball machines to take all that mixed powder and actually press it at high pressure into the pans.
Okay.
And I used to, as a kid, work the assembly line. From those pans, it went from one person to a next on a big conveyor belt, right to the trucks for delivery.
Wow.
And so I grew up watching my father and my uncle coordinate this big effort to manufacture powders. And that's where you could say family-owned businesses are in my blood.
Yeah.
But that's where I learned about it. And I was tasked at a young age in summertime going there and working the assembly line or helping out wherever they needed me. And I learned quite a bit. And Dale, to share a couple of quick lessons I learned that informed me as a consultant today is that I respected, and you could see it at my young age at the time, how my father and uncle coordinated and complemented each other. My father was the outside guy, right? He was the guy in sales and marketing, and my uncle was the people guy who ran the operations and ensured everything went on time, on budget, on quality, and that all the workers were satisfied. A really great role balance that I saw at a young age, and that informs me today on how I consult.
Excellent. Now, what was the name of the company?
So it was Laurel Industries.
Okay. Was it sold?
Named after Laurel, Maryland, where my uncle once lived.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Was it sold, or what happened to the business? Is it still in the family?
It went through different evolutions. It's a great question. And a part of the lesson I have learned is the importance in family business of family support.
Yeah.
And when the powder industry, that type of private label, old style manufacturing in a big warehouse, became obsolete, they had to pivot. And so with the support of my mother, and I used to listen to my parents brainstorm around ideas, they pivoted and started making cosmetics for Barbie dolls.
Oh, wow, really? Oh, interesting.
And they changed the name of the company and to Rochelle Decor.
Okay.
And I know the two of us didn't grow up playing with Barbie dolls, but if you remember, maybe Barbie used to have a head and used to be able to take cosmetics and make up Barbie.
Yeah, I remember commercials, seeing commercials, yeah.
That idea was my mother's idea.
Oh, really?
They pitched it to Mattel, won,
really?
and rewarded by manufacturing the cosmetics. And so business number two, and you talk about being flexible, adapting to market needs, and seeing opportunity, business two was not manufacturing cosmetics in general, but specific for Barbie doll heads.
Wow, interesting.
And and then eventually another evolution of manufacturing changed in the 80s, and that business actually went out of business with a mutual understanding it was the right move, and they went into other things in life, my father and uncle.
Wow, so they were
one
entrepreneurs.
Heck of a history there, Dale.
Yeah, so they were entrepreneurs, they had entrepreneurship in their blood. And so now, okay, so you did that for a while. So after that job, what happened? What did you do?
Then after I graduated, my father and I opened up an interesting business, a weight loss business, but a very sophisticated one, where we partnered with a physician, a nutritionist. We developed our own weight loss program. We held group sessions, individual coaching and counseling, health lectures. It was a dynamic business model, great product, great differentiation, but yet, and here's the thing, Dale, it did not succeed in the long run.
Okay.
And the lesson learned, which I carry with me, and it's one of the things I help family-owned businesses and non-family-owned businesses with, is an understanding of the importance of sales and marketing.
Okay.
Dale, you can have a great brand, a tremendous product,
right,
and people could love it, but if they don't know about it in mass, then you can't fulfill your own personal goals and mission.
Right.
And I think what we didn't do well, and I know we didn't do well, is how we positioned ourselves in the market, one about marketing and selling what we had to offer. And that came back to hurt us. And then eventually we closed. And from there, I said, you know what? I need to learn about sales and marketing. So I then spent 23 years at Roche Pharmaceuticals.
Oh, at Roche. Oh, really? Okay.
Right here in northern New Jersey.
Right.
And a great career with great people. And spent my entire time in this sales and marketing management world, in a number of positions: change management, leadership development, marketing, sales leadership, ran the marketing communications department. Great education. When you combine that with my background, my Roche business learnings and strategic planning, facilitation learning, it made for a great combination to go to market as a business consultant.
And now, did you leave there when they moved to California, right? Their operations moved from New Jersey to California. Is that when you left, or?
That's when I left. You got it, Dale. And I had an option, and the family, either leave without the family to go to California,
right,
or stay here with the family.
Right.
And I made a wise choice, and it gave me the opportunity to take that entrepreneurial spirit I grew up with,
right,
and apply it as a business consultant.
Excellent. And so that's when you started Prince Leadership.
You got it.
Excellent. So tell me about Prince Leadership. What do you do, and what's your focus, and who are your clients?
Our clients are small, middle market businesses. We have clients that are family-owned businesses, non-family-owned businesses, even not-for-profit businesses. But we focus in that small, middle market area in many different industries: healthcare, manufacturing, technology, different service industries, financial services. So we have an array of clients because our approach fits many different types of industries. But Dale, in one word, if I have to say what differentiates us or makes us a focal point, our mission is to uncover the emotion of being a business owner, especially the emotion of being in a family-owned business.
Right.
Because the inherent belief we have is all good things that are necessary to move a business forward, sustain it, pivot to new opportunities, is identifying the emotion caused by problems, conflicts in the business that are affecting relationships, money, goals, time, all these issues that affect some tangible things that sometimes business owners aren't aware of.
Right.
But they are aware of the emotion they possess because of those issues.
That is
Our job is to uncover that emotion, Dale. And when we uncover it, then we want to get to the why. Then we pinpoint what is the real cause, and that can take a little work sometimes, the real cause of that emotion.
Interesting.
Then that's the opportunity to help make a difference in a company.
So, and again, that's brilliant, because it is about emotion, and obviously Daniel Goleman and others, the emotional intelligence piece of things. And so, do you do an assessment? Do you kind of have them take an assessment? Do you have your own assessment, or how do you begin to uncover? If I was a family business, what would be some of the first things you would do with me?
Well, it's a good question. We use a couple different methods. There is no better method than having a discussion.
Yep.
And just asking good questions, probing deeper and listening and feeling the moment, and then taking that path where it goes.
Right.
But I also apply an analytical business tool called Core Value.
Okay.
And that tool, it's very sophisticated. It's a validated, data-driven tool that allows me to measure without emotion. And the owner takes it, and they can take it through my website as well. And what it's uncovering is strengths and weaknesses, and how those strengths can be leveraged, but also how those weaknesses are roadblocks to growth and actually diminishing the value of a company.
Interesting. Well, hold that, Larry. Hold that thought. We're at the halfway point. We're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back, and I want to talk about these core values and how you assess the emotion related to that.
You got it.
Plan your New Jersey trip at visitnj.org. Waves of fun. Nights of excitement. And a trail of memories. Now that's New Jersey.
Welcome back to Family Business World. I'm your host, Dr. Dale Caldwell, with Larry Prince of Prince Leadership, and we were just talking about how they help people deal with emotions to increase the profitability of the business. So you've done this core values assessment, and then what happens next, Larry? What do you talk about with your clients?
Well, now after talking about the emotion, talking about pinpointing and having discussion around that emotion and marrying that with the quantitative data, we got a powerful combination. And that informs us to be able to produce for the business owner or owners or family a roadmap, a general path forward to addressing the emotion, making positive change, thinking not just about change for now, but what the goals are for the future. And a lot of our discussion, once we've done that assessment, is around what is the intent of your business? What is not just next quarter and not just the next year, but what do you want to achieve for the long term, business-wise, that will also marry up with your personal goals? And to us, it's all one. It's a fallacy when you think that running a business, you could separate your business and your business goals from your personal.
Right.
You need to have some compartmentalization to live life and balance that out. But the reality is, it's all one. And especially since 80% of one's business, one's wealth, when you're a business owner, is tied up in the assets of a business.
Yep.
It all becomes one. So we look at it as one. And what we then do with that roadmap is prioritize. What are we going to tackle first? And often the problem that the owner thinks they need to solve, when you break this down, Dale, it is not where we begin.
Right.
And so sometimes we are beginning and helping the owner, whether it's strategic planning, improving the management team and how they're aligned, which is very important.
Yep.
Financial management, sales and marketing, operational workflow. Sometimes where we begin is not where the owner would have thought originally they need to fix.
Fascinating. And so, obviously we deal with a lot of family businesses, and there's a lot of family business conflict. The father, son, the brothers, the mothers, whatever. So do you deal with that emotion, the individual emotion between if two families members are in conflict? Do you help them work through that for the good of the business?
Right. Well, we have to. It doesn't mean we can solve all that conflict.
Right, of course,
Some of that conflict is deeply rooted in relationships that are born before the business started.
Right.
So we're careful, and sometimes it's a challenge for us. How do we manage that?
Yep.
Let me share this. For the most part, there are 4 broad objectives that an owner could have.
Okay.
It could be one, hey, you know what? I love my lifestyle. Just want to fix a few things, run it better.
Right.
So picture kind of a box with 4 grids or 4 boxes within a big box.
Right.
So one is we want to run this better so our lifestyle is better. Where most business owners go is we want to grow the business.
Right.
Right? We want to increase revenue. We want to increase profit. There's something specific we want to increase. That's where most business owners are. Some business owners are saying, not only do we want to grow it, but we have a destination of value in mind. We want to grow it with an exit strategy for the long term, 5 years, 10 years. And some say, I'm done. I want out now. I want to transition, whether it's to another family member, to merge, to be acquired. We're done. Now, here's the source of the conflict. You take a husband and wife that I have right now as a client running a really nice business. He is in the lifestyle box, Dale. He just wants to learn from me how to fix things, run it better, so he can maintain in his mid-50s the lifestyle he has for, say, another 5, 10 years.
Right.
His wife is in a different box. She's a visionary. She not only wants to grow it, she has a vision for a value she wants to land one day, and with an exit strategy, or maybe even franchising it. Well, that's a heck of a difference between the two of them.
Absolutely.
And that's the source of conflict.
Yeah.
And when we put that on the table and we have discussions about that, we can have some really healthy, honest dialogue and see if there is a path to resolve that conflict.
That's brilliant. That's
expand that out. Senior management team, other co-owners, other family members. When you're in different boxes, conflict is going to ensue.
See, Larry, and that's a great point. And actually on the show, we haven't talked that much about it, that there's an assumption that the husband, wife, the brothers are all on the same page. They're all marching to the beat of the same drummer, and so often they're not. And you're dealing with it, and having them address that is so critical for the future of the business and the future of their life. I like what you say, that people are intertwined. One of the things that we've talked about is with this pandemic and when government closes down family businesses, I don't think they fully understand the whole family is unemployed, that everybody is not making income. And so it really is particularly devastating for a family business. Do you have many clients that have been closed or significantly hurt because of the pandemic?
Fortunately, not.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I have a couple of, they're not clients, but businesses on the side that I counsel, more retail oriented, which is not necessarily my specialty. And I just see for them, possibly, one's a restaurant, not having a path forward.
Yeah.
Luckily, my core clients, one of them has grown tremendously, and 2 are about to grow again. And I compliment that they were willing to ask themselves and hold the tough conversations to see what they had to pivot, use that expression, or adapt, and how do they identify those opportunities in the market and take their core strengths and adapt their products and services to those market needs. Some of them are doing a really good job with that. And they're really on the verge of growing. One in California is growing tremendously right now in the face of everything.
One of the things, and I like to make predictions, and the I think it's Webster's dictionary every year comes up with the terms of the year. And I think in 2021, the term pivot will be one of the terms of the year, because I'm continuing to hear it more and more. And I'm seeing businesses that are either, they've had their best year yet in 2020 because they pivoted to something they never thought they'd do, or others that are having the worst year they've ever had. And you really, and that's why Prince Leadership and others, you're helping them pivot, but using emotions, understanding emotions is a fundamental driver of that pivot. That's really, really fascinating. What advice do you have? Again, as we only have a few more minutes, what advice do you have for those businesses out there to really deal with emotions and to pivot and to survive into 2021?
It's a good question, and let's look at it this way. What we've done is, when I say we, I am Prince Leadership, and I work with a cadre of experts that I bring in to be a part of the team for different projects: strategic planning, business planning, financial management, exit planning preparation. What we have collectively in our consulting conversations have identified are 3 areas that lessons have been learned by business owners. I call it COVID clarity. In fact, I have an article in New Jersey Business, a 3-part series on COVID clarity.
Oh, wonderful.
Business lessons learned through uncertainty in 2020. And there are 3 categories that we are learning from that helps us inform when we consult. 1 is leading your people, 2 is leading your finances, and 3 is leading your business in the market. And there's a lot of lessons learned in each of those 3 areas that the companies I mentioned that are doing well are applying, either through our work with them or just inherent in their capability and leadership as they see it.
Interesting. So talk to me about the third. I understand the kind of the people, but talk a little more about the third area of that. Explain for the audience, what does that really mean?
So when we look at the market, there's always the assumption that what got us here will get us there, as a good friend of mine says.
Okay.
And the reality is, I know we fall in love, and success through the years dictates falling in love with how we package our products or services and offer them to the market.
Right.
But if we're close to our market, and how do you get close to your market? You've got to have a relationship with your clients and customers.
Yep.
One where you could actually have a conversation, ask, listen, and learn.
Yep.
And when you get close to your customers, you're learning about their needs, what they've pivoted, what their challenges are. And you can ask yourself, how then do we adjust our products and services, or how we sell and market them?
Right. That's brilliant. So you're talking about emotion. So I wrote this book called Intelligent Influence, and so my focus is on influence. What influence people, and I often say that if you don't know your own influences, it's very hard for you to understand the influences of your customer. And that so often people who don't know their influences think, well, I like this product, they're going to like this product, and it doesn't necessarily work that way. So it sounds like you're working through that how do you help them develop empathy for their customer base?
If you don't have empathy, and if it's not inherent in who you are as a business owner or CEO of a company, a management team, you're not going to succeed.
Yeah.
A part of the behavioral pattern we're seeing with companies that are succeeding is that they have to have empathy.
Yep.
They have to have empathy for their customers, for society, for their employees. And so empathy has to be built in. We can't teach that.
Right.
That we don't have clients without empathy. Otherwise, they wouldn't be open-minded to want to bring us in. So that has to be there. Empathy also has to be for respecting the experience your customers are going through, and also empathy for other businesses and how you could form alliances with other businesses to package what you do together.
Right.
And I've seen this already. How you package what you do together with other businesses that you never thought of going to market with.
Right.
Or maybe even a competitor where you group together and say, you know what? We'll be stronger if we partner on this together.
Right. Well, one of the things, and we should talk, because this whole idea of my framework, intelligent influence framework, actually takes people through a 4-step process that, believe it or not, opens people's eyes to empathy who didn't have it before. And the trick is, and the trick is, so many people who don't have empathy believe in this self-made person idea, that I'm successful because of me. I worked hard, I did it all by myself. Yeah, well, people worked hard, but there are influences in your life that helped you become successful. And once they understand that, then they say, well, what are the influences in the lives of your customers? What are the influences in the lives of your staff or other folks? And then once you have that conversation, they're almost ready to talk to Prince leadership to say, Larry, I thought I did it myself. I understand now. Take me through that process. So I really love what you're doing, because that can take people from no empathy, I can give them empathy, and then they can become successful. So we're nearing the end. So what final pearls of wisdom, and this has been fantastic, do you have for family businesses and other entrepreneurs out there?
I'll give a couple, and actually these pearls of wisdom come from my father, who was in his late 80s.
Wow.
And I just spoke to him recently, and I never had this conversation with him before. And I said, Dad, tell me about your pearls of wisdom. And now, if you were a business owner in that same business going through this COVID experience, what are your pearls of wisdom?
Interesting.
And I wrote a few down, and here's one. Challenge your approach. And we just spoke about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Never rest on your laurels. Always be flexible to adapt. Be close to your customers. Understand what your competitors are doing. Here's another. Happy employees are the recipe for success.
Yep.
You know, and more than ever, people are realizing in businesses and family businesses, the greatest asset you have is your people.
Yep. Absolutely.
So those are a couple
Brilliant.
of lessons, pearls that were good back in the 70s and 80s that still apply and are very important as we go through this great uncertainty at times because of a virus that we have to battle together.
Well, Larry, this has really been fun, and I know my audience. You know, I'm hoping they will take these pearls of wisdom, because that's brilliant. I mean, it really is good stuff. It's simple, yet it's powerful, and people overlook that. They're just so focused on the numbers. They're so focused on on strategy, and they don't understand these basics. So Larry, Prince Leadership. If people want to contact you, what's your website or phone number or email?
Website is princeleadership.com. Real simple, princeleadership.com. You could even see an opportunity to take our front end of the core value assessment, no charge, and then we have a follow-up conversation. If you want to email me, just put Larry in front of that, Larry@princeleadership.com. And Dale, my cell number, 973-670-6304. Give me a call, we'll talk.
There you have it. Larry Prince, Prince Leadership. Larry, this has been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. So thank you very much. And I want to thank my audience in Family Business World. We will see you next week. And I hope you can implement some of these wonderful lessons. So take care. See you next time.